Welcome back to House TV Live. I'm Rick Spence, and joining me today is Lina and Erin from Curated Nests out of New York. They are family design experts, so family-friendly design. So what does that mean? Let's jump in there. I think family-friendly, I just think a kid's not going to hit their head on something.
Well, that's funny you say that, Rick, because function and safety are definitely the first things that we look at. So family-friendly design is truly function-driven, but it does need to marry seamlessly with aesthetics and quality and longevity.
You both have kids, so you've done this in your own homes, right? So you can experiment at home, make sure it's working. And Erin, you're going to share your living room with us today. And then Lina, you're going to walk us through a couple of your projects that you've done for clients to give us a feel for what works, what was used, all that kind of stuff. So why don't we start with your living room, Erin, and kind of break it down for us what you did there. It's an absolutely beautiful space.
So my living room is the space that you see right when you walk in the house, but it's also a very central part of our home. We wanted to pick items that really had multi-purpose and that had a lot of function. We can use this room for a family movie night, as well as game night, and even for when adults come over and want to hang out. We have a two-sided tete-a-tete, which is a really cool chaise lounge, but it's really comfortable. So you can sit on one side and watch TV in a hidden cabinet, but you could also sit there and talk to people around the group.
Tell me about the importance of storage in a functional space like this.
So a lot of people think when it comes to storage for kids, it has to be an open cubby with bright, colorful storage bins. And that's not something that you necessarily want to have in, a formal living room. You can still have beautiful case pieces. It can be low to the ground and have easy access for the kids to get into. But when everything gets cleaned up, it goes back to looking like a nice, clean space.
One of our questions from the house community is around chairs and durability of chairs and style of chairs. Is there advice on how you pick chairs for durability?
So fabric is a really big key factor, but also how easy is it going to be for the kids to get up and get down? So we might have some chairs that have longer sides so kids can't fall through. Bar stools are a great example of this. For instance, in my kitchen, we have bar stools that have longer edges on the side so you could push them in and they're not going to fall out. So there's a lot of different factors and, of course, safety issues.
Now, what about the flooring? What types of flooring do you recommend for, non-slip or more comfort or preventing injuries, that kind of thing?
So there's so many great options out there right now. There's indoor-outdoor rugs, which are designed so beautifully that you could use them anywhere in your house. So a lot of times we'll mix a few high and low pieces. So while we'll go with nicer case goods that are going to last longer, we might go with less expensive indoor-outdoor rugs that are made out of polypropylene that still looks like a wool rug, but it could actually be taken outside and hosed off.
Yeah, hose with kids, hosing off. I like that one.
Another activity.
Yeah, go hose this off. Don't bring it in until you're done. Do it again.
And there are also great products out there called Floor, where it's floor tiles that you can pop up and down, and you can wipe it, but at the same time, if it gets really messy and spilled on, you could actually pop another one down and no one would be the wiser.
That's great. So one of your mantras is kids' independence and embracing that. Tell me how that works with design.
So there's a lot of different factors that come into play with a renovation. One of our really big philosophies is making sure that the kids can take out their items and put on their shoes, put their coat away as soon as they come into the house. One of the really big trends has been a mudroom with open seating and the really cute hooks on the wall. But what we found with our clients, as well as our own families, is you end up with backpacks thrown on the ground, coats hanging on the walls, and after day one, it just looks really messy. So we like to use a lot of closed storage that has low hooks and low handles. So that way the kids have their own personal place to put their items as soon as they come in the house. And it gives them a routine as well as independence. And for instance, in a kitchen, the new trend is the really oversized built-in refrigerators. For instance, I'm very short. I'm under 5 feet tall. So I knew that my kids are going to have a really hard time getting snacks themselves. and I don't want to be bombarded to have to go downstairs for another cheese stick. So we put in an under cabinet beverage center, which is a really good opportunity to have an area for kids to be able to get snacks on their own. And it just fosters that entire philosophy of you can get things yourself. And it gives them a lot of pride to be able to do it themselves.
And of course, you're not just doing this in your own homes, you're doing it for clients. So let's talk about one of your recent projects or a couple of your recent projects where you can show us what you did and why it works.
One that comes to mind is a project we recently completed in Brooklyn. And this was a typical Brooklyn townhouse, long, narrow, and vertical. And the bottom floor, which, is kind of like a walkout basement, was vastly underused. One of the issues was the lack of light. So we made sure that beyond the hi-hats, there was also some sconces on the wall, which are lovely and decorative besides the fact that they provide light. And these kids had a lot of toys and books. So we had to use that entire wall almost for storage. And there's a nice little mix. There's an area where their books are exposed and very accessible. And then there's plenty of bins for their smaller trinkets and drawers for the stuff that you really want to hide. That wallpaper, it's actually a mural and it's removable. So that's one thing that we use a lot with kids' spaces is removable wallpaper or murals, because it literally peels off like a sticker. And say the family wants to change up the look in a few years, they can easily do that without harming their wall. And that black wall is actually a chalkboard. So there's plenty of room for creativity and self-expression. We always try to incorporate kind of a space for the child to be creative. And so in this case, it's the play table as well as the chalkboard wall.
That's a great space. Do you have another one you want to show us?
Sure. So this was a repeat client. And they had this beautiful, gorgeous, completely unfinished space in their basement. We managed to create different areas for them to really enjoy as a family.
This space is awesome. So walk me through this.
Yeah, no, we're totally jealous of it. So I guess I'm calling it the adult side, but it's really the family side, has super comfy sofas that you can snuggle up in. There's a leather sofa and another sofa with a performance fabric. There's an indoor-outdoor rug. And instead of a coffee table, we included an upholstered ottoman. And that serves two functions. One, as extra seating, if they need it. And two, as a coffee table. You put a tray on it, boom, you have a coffee table.
Mm-hmm.
And then the cool barn doors conceal the TV. So it's not a TV forward space.
A lot of good family activity happens when the TV or the screens are off. So hiding those in some way is a good thing.
Exactly. And hiding it in a beautiful way. So why not have lovely barn doors that you actually want to look at?
And it looks like there's some nice lighting in that cabinetry too. Some down lighting, and there's some LED lights in there.
Yeah. So we wanted to have an element of decor in that space and not just have it be like the lounge area. So that down lighting allows you to showcase, special pieces or some picture frames or something that's personal to that family.
Then I'm seeing this other like art table situation, and then there's this whole storage thing. How much space do they have? This is incredible.
Yeah, I think that space is probably at least 1,000 or 1,500 square feet.
Oh man, it's like the kids have their own home down there.
Yeah, and that's why we were able to create these different areas. The craft table is actually made of a zinc top, which it only gets more beautiful with age, and there's really nothing you can do to destroy it. And those chairs are a mix of wood and plastic, so they're also super durable and great for an arts and crafts area. How
do you judge good quality chairs for kids?
Well, there's the side of durability, and then there's the side of practicality. So you want to be able to wipe it down easily, which is why we chose that material for a craft space where there's going to be paint and crayons and glue and glitter and all that fun stuff. And then, you want it to be durable as well. So it's kind of finding that balance.
Tell me about the storage. The storage is cool. Again, you have seating between the storage. It's not just a giant wall of storage. A little bit of artwork in there and some shelves. Tell me about that.
What we wanted to give this family was a sense that they could put away the toys, but that because this is really a basement play space, that the toys could still be mostly exposed. Exposed, but contained. So in those cubbies, there's bins that are kind of made of wire, and that way the children can see what's inside.
So Erin, do you want to hop in and throw any color on some of these spaces?
Yeah, I'd say the built-in areas, none of that was existing before we got into the space. So we really had to talk with the clients and hear about them and what they envisioned using the space for, and really breaking everything down to determine how we're going to group the space into the seating area, a play space, and a craft area. So that is a really big part of our design process, and making sure that we're tailoring the space to the clients and not just for, the general population. We want the houses to be bespoke to them, so it's functional for their family.
How should clients work with you on house and their idea books? What kinds of things should they put in? Should they just throw in anything and everything they like? Or how can you help them focus if they're thinking about a family-friendly play space or a family-friendly living room?
So this is a really great time to do design because everyone is sitting at their house. They're seeing what works and what doesn't work. So when you're going on to house and you're looking for pictures, it's really important to find the issues that you had in your house, find solutions in the designs and what works for you and what doesn't. And if something really speaks to you, then it's important to put it in your idea book.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for spending the time with us today. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Erin, for inviting us into your home. Beautiful space.
Thank you.
And Lina, maybe we'll get the chance to see your space next.
Yeah, we'd love that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Stay safe.
You too.
All right, you too.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.